Can you check at the date, please?
Sure. Okay. I'll.
Share to group. I think it's setting up Facebook Live.
Yeah, it's saying meeting is now streaming live on Facebook.
Okay, let me just check. It takes a little while sometimes. I'm just checking. Hmm. Is it live? Smell na muna ako.
Still a black screen in Facebook. Okay.
Okay, let me just check that one. Black screen. Still not on. It says um, broadcasting. It says live on Facebook now. I think. Is it on?
Yes, it's
Just
on.
checking.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're on. We're live, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I'm so excited today because I'm with Manning George. He's a nurse in UK, Filipino nurse in UK. He's a YouTube blogger. You must have seen his um, videos. Ang gaganda-ganda, and I'm a follower actually. So thank you again, Manning George, for being here. Is it okay to call you Manning George? It's like my
Yes, of course.
yun na talaga yung branding mo eh. Branding mo
Yeah.
sa... By the way, I am Christine Carson. I'm the co-founder of Pinoy Nurses Abroad. And I'll just quickly show you our website. Just show that one. If I can easily... It won't show. But anyway, maybe I'll leave actually the link here sa website namin. So our mission is to actually share opportunities, mga guides for nurses in the Philippines or nurses, actually Filipino nurses all over the world. If you want to go abroad, example, if it's in UK or New Zealand, Canada, or anywhere, no, we're actually looking for collaborators to share their reality-based experience. Kasi iba talaga yung pag-reality, no? Rather than somebody's telling you sa Philippines lang. And kaway-kaway sa mga YouTube vloggers dyan, no? Kasi it's very helpful, valuable information that you're doing out there. And I know you're doing it with a lot of passion because I know how hard it is to like prepare for those videos. So thank you so much. And Manning George, I'll
Yes.
let you introduce yourself. So just let them know about your background. So before that, guys, we're actually you can ask questions no, sa comment, or also you can visit their website. Very nice and helpful website as well, specifically for nurses who's planning to go to UK. So Manong George, please introduce yourself, your background, saan ka sa Pinas, and where you
Yeah.
are in UK.
So hi, name is Manong George. I do a vlog in YouTube. So Manong George UK is the vlog channel. But bigger than that, I also um, head the Filipino UK nurses community. You can find our website at www.filipinouknurse.com. And basically, I've been a nurse for, gosh, kailangan magbilang. Kaya ako nag-nurse, sorry. About 14 years ba? 14, 15 years, yeah. But I've been a nurse here in the UK for 11 years nearly. And so, yeah, people don't ask me really kung saan ako galing sa Pilipinas, pero I will gladly tell you where my background is. So, I'm originally from Quezon City, kaway-kaway dyan, kung alam niyo yung Galas. So, laking batang Galas ako. So, that's Quezon City, near the Rotonda area, Sampaloc, Santa Mesa. Yan, malapit yan sa borders ng Manila. So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell of where I am. And, well, dito sa UK, Manong George and the Filipino UK nurses community is a team, but I am based in the Midlands. That's where I live. But Work-wise, I can travel anywhere. So that's what I do.
Wow. So matagal-tagal na din na. So guys, experience is the best teacher, sabi nga nila. Kaya
That's true.
we invited Manong George kasi iba talaga yon talaga pag may nagsasabi sa'yo na ano nangyayari doon. And right now, we know that there's a lot of things going on. A lot of sadness, di ba, Manong George?
Mm.
With the Filipino nurses in UK, as you know, I still cry when I watch all those videos sa mga fallen heroes natin. And we will talk about that soon, kung bakit nangyayari yun. And of course, this is timely. We thought to invite you for another reason, yung mga na-ban ngayon, no? Maraming
Mm.
UK, and they actually, there's a Twitter party yesterday, and I think there's thousands of posts to lift the ban, and hopefully, no, they can get heard by our government. And I will ask you about your opinion, no?
Mm-hmm.
And while they are here, we still want to encourage positivity, no? No, it's not the end of the
Oh
world,
yes.
right? It's not the end of the world. And I know it's easy for us to say that because I know there some of them they sacrifice a lot for that journey, for that dream. So paano ba, I don't know what words, to say, but for now, I guess what you can do is to prepare better. That's
That's
why
right.
Manning George is here. Hopefully you can watch this video, maybe recorded or live right now. You can ask questions. Paano nga ba paano ka makapag-prepare para sulit talaga yung pagpupunta mo sa UK, avoid all those um, roadblocks if possible, because
Mm-hmm.
preparation is the key, I believe. So, Manong George, balik tayo sa history.
All right.
Why did you choose nursing?
All right. So
Not
just a
very
little bit
common
of
for men, but yes, why?
well, just to give you a little bit of a background, nung 2000s, nauso talaga yung nursing. I'm a product of that sort of era na biglang nauso yung term na second courser. Siguro ngayon hindi na yung naririnig. But that time, that was very big. So, graduate ako sa UST, the microbiology. I did that. I was hoping to go into medicine, pero somewhere along the line that didn't materialize. My uncle, who is from New York, sabi niya, no, mag-nursing ka na lang para makarating ka dito sa States. I think marami nun na ganon, gustong pumunta ng States. So yeah, so sabi ko, sige, mag-nursing ako. I did my nursing 2.5 years sa perpetual. And there you go. And that's how I ended up. And then my first experience in nursing was in St. Luke's, Quezon City.
Is that paid?
Oh,
Kasi
yes.
my
Oh.
next question is, try mo ba mag-volunteer? Because I think
And,
that era to usong-uso din yung volunteer.
mm,
Tama ba?
I think we in that respect I was very very lucky na nakuha kagad yung batch namin sa yung tinatawag pa noon na NSET. Parang oh yes, it's training pero hindi naman kami bayad exactly. Pero yung meron kaming talagang pupuntahang trabaho. So yun yung advantage. And gusto ko rin lang batiin lahat ng mga kasama ko sa NSET before 2007 kami noon. Most of them, they're still my friends. May iba nga nandito na sa UK din kasama ko. So they're lifelong friends. No? So from St. Luke's hanggang dito sa UK. Ayan, yung iba nga dyan, naging kumpare ko pa at kumare ko. So shout out sa kanila.
Wow, grabe. Nasa second courser ka, and then,
Mm.
what year? Is that okay if I ask you what year?
Naku mahal tong information na to. But anyway, yeah. So, ano bang year? Basta graduate ako ng nursing 2006, October, and then 2004 ako graduate sa UST ng microbiology. Yeah.
Ayan. So you're lucky kasi last, I think few weeks ago I asked, no, kasi 'di ba it's a big thing right now. Nurses are getting asked to volunteer again for DOH. And I understand, our country, our people needs us here in the Philippines, but yun nasasaktan yung mga nurses na naman kasi majority of the nurses, I did a survey, it was for fun. if nakatry na nag-volunteer, and very, very small percentage na nag-say ng no. Kasi most nurses nakatry talaga na mag-volunteer. And even some 3 years, I said, how did you live? you know,
True, true.
yung mga ganon. So, meron naman akong kakilala na hindi nag-volunteer, but which is, it's good. You're lucky. You're one of the
Mm.
luckiest pag meron ka na agad job. Kasi yung iba nga nagbayad pa.
That's very true. Yun nga, sabihin ko sana na back then, nauso rin yung institutions would ask nurses who are trying to get in na magbayad pa sila. So, it's a sad reality, no? Kaya lang, yun nga. So, to the present na ngayon, it shows na although maybe nurses can forgive, but certainly it's hard to forget, di ba? Na yun nga, na kumbaga, pinadaan mo sa butas ng karayom, tapos ngayon, pababalikin mo ulit. So parang, I can understand the sentiment behind it kung bakit karamihan din ng mga nurses natin is very reluctant to come back. So I really hope that somewhere down the line, we could, you know, find the happy middle kung saan happy din ang nurses natin sa Pilipinas, happy din yung serving yung public and yung government kasi at the end of the day, it's tulungan. Pero yun nga, meron talaga tayong sentimento bilang dating nurse sa Pilipinas.
Yes, and it's really, really sad, no? And I actually, one of the reason why I do what I do now, no? Kasi yun nga, no, to give hope and light as much as possible, whatever we can do online. As you know, we're not the frontliners. We're doing something behind. So we call ourselves the backliners.
Mm.
um,
Totoo.
but then I thought, what can you do to contribute to the nursing community? Because I would really consider us very blessed na we had a chance to go abroad, work abroad, and iba-iba siya, di ba? Ibang-iba compared to.
Mm.
May I just ask how much was your salary when you were in St. Luke's before? Because that's a long time ago, right?
Ako, baka patay na. Baka kasi pag nagbumuwi akong Pilipinas, may ninang ako sa St. Luke's. So, Ma'am Sonia, hello po.
That's normal, right? I think that's a fair sweldo before. I think
So, I think back then, I maalala, no? It's definitely under 15,000. Definitely. Definitely. Per month. Kasi it's one of the things na main difference na I found na adjustment sa akin personally, yung UK against Philippines is that ang Pilipinas, ang kinsenas ang sweldo mo every 2 weeks. So walang linggo de peligro kung tawagin namin. Pero sa UK, 4 weeks ka maghihintay. So on your third week, ayan na, nandiyan na ang pancit canton, nandiyan na ang delata, hindi ka na makalabas. Kasi linggo de peligro mo na yan eh. Wala ka ng pera. Naghihintay ka na ulit ng sweldo. So yun. So yun yung adjustments doon.
so meron pa so you get paid monthly in UK.
Hindi siya kinsenas.
Okay, kasi in New Zealand we get paid fortnightly. So
Fortnightly.
wala kami masyadong ganun. But my
Ay nako, yung
question,
fortnightly na yan. Yan din. Buti nabanggit mo yan. It took me like 8 years para maintindihan kung ano yung fortnightly. Kasi sabi ko, bakit fortnightly? Fort, edi 4. Tapos nightly, edi 4 days. Sabi nung trabaho ko, nako ba 2 weeks yun? Fortnightly nga, 2 weeks. Ayun nga, maling-mali ako, sorry.
so when you mentioned that, those are the terms that you're not
Mhm.
familiar with. They in New Zealand they call meron silang tinatawag na Kiwi slang, and I'm sure you have that in UK as
Ay, nako.
well.
Yeah,
Ang rami-rami.
ang dami niyan. Kasi isa yan sa mga common topics na nako-cover ng mga vloggers, ng mga influencers kasi as everybody knows, everybody would have to have an English test certification bago pumunta dito. But no English test would tell you that a faucet is a tap, 'di ba? Television or TV is a telly. An elevator is a lift. Even an escalator is a lift. So yung mga ganun, hindi mo makikita yan. And then, isa sa pinaka nakakatawang storya ko dyan is a patient actually pointed at me and said, that's the bloke. Tinuturo ako, but then I look back. Sabi ko, ano yung bloke? Ako pala yun.
So
So
blow,
yun.
guys. So yeah, we use that too in New Zealand. And meron akong pinakakatawa, nakakahiya. I was doing my parang duty, no, as a student. Kasi in New Zealand, we'd go on a camp, and the nurse asked me,
Mhm.
"Can you get me a flannel?" And I'm like, "What is a flannel?" I'm like,
Oh,
I was
maisip ko
really
dyan, leche
panicking.
flannel.
So flannel is actually face towel or labakara. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So those are the things that we really wanna kasi you will they feel like I think it's hard for them to teach us that, diba? Kasi they're expected na we know, but then we don't. So how do you,
Hmm.
and yun yung role namin, guys, na this is our mission talaga, na how do we give you the detailed information so that when you go there, you are in a way more confident to
Mhm.
na sumabak. Sinasabi nila, 'di ba, nurses are, we are going on a war at, so paano ka magiging prepared? So
That's
what
very
do you
true.
need to know aside from nursing is a skill, and in a way it's being a BSN or RN. I think we're already equipped in a way with experience. Pero yung ibang level going to another country is different. So, Manning
Hmm.
George, my next
Totoo.
question here is, why UK? So, you mentioned your uncle said that
Mm.
USA sana. So, why
Yes.
UK?
So ito, marami akong talagang babatiin tao. Kasi it started with a colleague of mine sa St. Luke's. And back then, siguro common naman sa agencies yung referral system, right? You refer somebody and then you get something out of it. Siguro kahit simple perk like a Starbucks gift check or whatever. So I remember she was the one. Her name is Karen Palad. She's back in the Philippines, by the way. Promote ko na rin. Maganda yung business niya. Cara de Juan, promoted by Miss Marian Rivera. So if you like your very eco-friendly jewelry, yeah. So yeah, I can hook you up. But anyway, si Karen, she recently had that interview, and she was, I think, going somewhere in Salisbury, which is a very posh place dito sa UK, very posh town, no, malapit sa Stonehenge. And she got it. She got the job. So when she came back, nagtatrabaho kami, nag-handover kami, endorsement. Sabi niya, George, gusto mo mag-apply? I-refer kita sa agency ko. Sabi ko, ako noon, sabi ko, sige, saan ba yan? Sabi niya, UK. Okay. Pero sabi ko noon, nasa process ako ng pag-NCLEX. Sabi ko, in fact, that time, binayaran ng agency ko yung IELTS ko. Pasado na ako noon. So, hinihintay ko na lang, nagpe-prepare ako for NCLEX. Eh, nag-retrogression na yata noon. So medyo ano na ako noon, medyo broken-hearted na ako. So ang ginagawa ko noon, nagpupunta ako sa mga agency naman for Middle East, Kuwait, and I think Saudi even, and Qatar, ganyan. Pero doon, lagi ako nag-broken hearted. Hindi ako tumatagos, hindi ako umabot sa interview. Ano pa lang, yung tinignan pa lang yung, what do you call this, experience. Sabi nila, you know what, kulang ka pa. Gusto ko solid 3 years. Ako naman, di syempre, sa maloob ko, ganyan. Eh, di nung sinabi nito ni Karen, sabi ko, sige Karen, sige, puntahan ko. Haphazardly pa. Alright. I had an interview. And yung interview, naalala ko yung duty ako. I had to run into our pantry to answer yung phone call. Yung isa ko trainee noon, tinulungan lang ako. Sabi niya, sige sir, sagutin mo lang yan. Ako nang bahala. So, ayun, doon nag-umpisa lahat yan. And then, doon, it just all fell into place. Kasi 6 months later, I mean, maybe 1 month after that, sabi sa akin nung agency, all right, punta, darating ng employers, interview ka, and then kung everything's okay, 6 months, makakarating ka sa UK. And it happened. So nagulat din ako. I never expected it, pero yun nga. Medyo mabilis yung process noon namin.
Wow, so 6 months lang, and that's really fast, 'di ba? So,
Mhm.
wow. So, sometimes, to change yung direction, you have this plan,
Mhm.
well, tapos may mga mangyayari, and that's what's happening right now, no? Sa a lot of nurses that, it could be, for me, I always look at it as a redirection, or sometimes kasi ako marami din akong pinagdaanan going to New Zealand, and I thought, hindi na talaga para sa akin to. Parang kasi I had a problem with my medical exam. So, parang, and then I did not pass the IELTS, yung mga ganon, maraming mga blocks talaga. But then after, in the end, I found out that it was actually a better direction for me. So yung parang, okay, so you're in UK now, you did not think of, kasi marami pa ako nakita na from UK, they still move. What do you
Oh
plan?
yeah.
Do you still want to go somewhere else or you're quite happy there?
Ayoko magsalita ng tapos, ano. Pero at the minute, I'm very settled in the UK. I'm very happy here. Um, of course, everybody's a bit different. In fact, we had an episode with Glenn Cabero. He had the experience of living here in the UK and then going to the States, working there for a while, and then coming back. And so I'll just echo what he said. It all depends on what is important for you on your own situation. Of course, you'd like to hear people say and actually support what might be your decision, whether or not you stay in the UK or you go somewhere else. But at the end of the day, the biggest part there of your decision should be your situation. What works best for you? And right now, the UK is working really well for me. I love it here. I'm happy here. Yes, there are challenges here, but you know what? I'm happy where I am. So that's where I am at the
Yeah. And so you don't have problems with the weather?
well, there's always two ways to look at it, di ba? Yeah, some people would say, laging gray dyan sa UK. Yeah, that's fine. And sabi rin nila, merong paiba-iba yung seasons. But ang sagot ko naman doon, that gives me the chance to have maybe a better wardrobe. Plus, meron akong nakuha kay Vilma Santos dati. Nakalimutan ko yung pelikula yun eh. Pero hindi pwede laging masaya. Kasi kung lagi kang masaya, hindi mo alam kung ano yung, what it is to come back from that. So kailangan mo ng lungkot para malaman mo kung gaano ka kasaya. So yun yun. So I think
Wow.
that plays in the seasons as well. So that's why when there's the sun, mas ganado kang lumabas. You invest yourself in physical activities kasi you know the sun will not last for that long here in the UK. Parang ganun. It's just all perspectives.
I love that. I love that. Papanoorin ko yan nga. But you're right, no? You will never know what real joy or happiness means if hindi mo nga na-try. I think life is boring if walang challenges. The reason I was just teasing you because I have a friend in New Zealand.
Mhm.
He's from UK and then he moved to New Zealand and he always talks about the weather, like,
Oh
gloomy
yes.
daw and all that. So of course, no, yan nga guys, the seasons, different seasons, which we are actually um, isa yun sa challenges for me, the cold. Does it get so cold? How cold?
Yes, dito sa UK, annoying yung cold namin kasi under 10 degrees, mas malamig siya than what it says on the on the numbers kasi yung hangin yung hangin yung nagpapalamig. Ang weird naman sa amin, yung iba kasi, when they go to the UK, more people think the white Christmas, yun yung pangarap ng tao. Snow! Ang snow dito sa amin, hindi laging gano'n. Minsan, seasonal yan. Minsan may snow na makapal. Minsan, wala talagang snow ang winter, malamig lang. So, ayun, yun yung diferensya. Pero yes, umaabot din kami sa 0 degrees or under. Pero ang weird ng relationship ng UK sa snow, kasi at this amount of snow, napapanig na sila. Which is, it's part of the deal, I suppose. Sabi ko,
Sabi
wala
nila,
namang perfect.
mahiya naman kayo sa taga-Canada.
Exactly. Exactly.
Then they have,
Diba?
I don't know, I haven't been there, but, a longer winter and, kakapal yung -1 daw nila or 0 is summer. We're
Mm.
going to the beach and same with New Zealand, no? Like we have snow mountains that you have to drive on winter for
Mhm.
skiing, but wala talaga sa city. Like I think in my 8 years, I've only experienced it once in the city na nag-snow.
Oh.
Tapos sabi nila it did not happen the last 80 years.
So big, ano yun, no? Big
Yeah,
thing, right?
it was a big thing. So weather, guys, isa yan, no? How do you prepare for that? How do you keep warm? Um, mahilig tayo sa cotton na mga damit, no? And we have this merino and all those things that we need to learn as well, di ba?
You
Paano,
need
ano
to
ba?
learn how to layer. Yun lagi yung
Yeah,
sinasabi ko. Layer lang yung technique. Rather
that's
than
true.
buying yung mga napakasakit at napakamahal na brands.
Oo, mahal ang mga winter clothes, but I love winter fashion, no? So,
Mhm.
okay, thank you for that. So, chika lang ito, no? Getting to know, and I hope sa mga manunood dito in the future or now, those are little things that really can affect your whole experience. So, pagdating mo doon, of course, sometimes our expectations is different than the reality, right?
That's very true.
So, yun, how do you prepare for that? And Manong George, you mentioned if it's okay, you can share no na may challenges ka rin pagdating mo doon. And yung mga papupunta pa lang, how do they avoid yung mga ano pang dapat preparation to avoid yung mga um, more challenges when you get there?
I think one very important advice that I could give to people who would want to work abroad, no, you have to expect reality rather than say reality versus expectation. Expect reality. What do I mean by expect reality? And reality is you will be going somewhere to work. So it's not you're not going there uh, to the land of milk and honey na babagsak lang yan. What you work for, kung marami kang tinabaho, marami kang kikitain. Yan ang expectation. It's not, ito yung tinabaho mo, ito yung kikitain mo. No. Ito yung tinabaho mo, ito yung kikitain mo. It's always relative to your effort. There is effort. So the beauty of this day and age, there are people like Christine, like me, other hosts of other people that you can get information of first-hand information kung ano yung what is the reality dun sa mga lugar na yun. No, take advantage of that. Ask people. Ako, I always invite people to send messages to me kasi I don't mind answering them. Lalo na ako kasi I find time actually to answer them. Huwag kayong matakot, tao rin lang kami. And so, when we get this challenges, meron dyan challenges na you have to understand. There's also the challenge of understanding culture. Tayo ang banyaga sa kanilang bansa, right? We are the foreigners coming into their country. So, like with the sa Pilipinas, 'di ba? Kung ikaw ang bisita, yes, you expect that you be treated well, but you are expected na makisama. So, kailangan din natin maintindihan yon. That starts with the understanding of the culture. Hindi lang yung katulad lang very very simple. Yung English na sinabi ko kanina. You also have to understand. You can't go in there saying, I've learned English, I passed my IELTS, I have 9 across all the board, so I'm a perfect English speaker. Then they'd ask you, so, right, blimey. Nasaan ang blimey? Sa ano? So, you see, it's
Blimey.
this simple things, yes. So, and then yun nga yun eh. You have to understand that is the reality. So you don't say reality versus expectation. You expect reality. Yan ang ano dyan. Lahat tayo na magkakaroon ng struggles. I had my own struggles coming in. There were some of my superiors previously didn't have that trust on me, and right now I can say I proved them wrong, and that was great for me. But it was a hurdle. It was a struggle to start with. I think we also tried to open that up in our one of our videos. We mentioned about the trauma of bullying, ano yung feeling alone, ano yung pwede mong ma-encounter dito sa UK. And I guess that echoes with even anywhere you go. Meron talaga. There's no such thing as a perfect place.
Yes, bullying, that's right. You know, what's the boundaries? How do you know if it's a bully already? Kasi, may I just share, no? Meron din akong experience na gano'n, na grabe talaga. I was like so down. I was crying. I was so scared. It was my first six
Mm.
months in New Zealand. And because we're new, we tend to make some mistakes, 'di ba? Like marami pa tayong hindi alam talaga. And even though we do on OSCE or we call it CAP in New Zealand, it doesn't cover everything, right? Kasi it's really through experience. So, um, how do you how do you cope? So again, they have a video in the YouTube channel. Look at that. Maraming mga materials, no? But yun nga, what do you need to know? Sana, like, we will try our best to look for that step by step talaga na dapat mong malaman pa. So that's one culture. And um, yung preparation. Since you
Hmm.
mentioned that, with the OSCE, so there's still a risk. So you get there to UK, but there's still a risk na hindi ka makapasa. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. In fact, OSCE is relatively new in a sense na dati wala niyan. And I'll be the very first to say, nung batch namin, nung 10 years, 11 years ago, walang ganyan. Portfolio kami. So, yung OSCE was relatively new. And when it was first introduced, meron talagang bumabagsak. I've had stories that have been told to me by, our supporters then, and our followers na sinabi, Manong George, actually, meron akong kasama na pauwi. Kasi second, third try, hindi na pumasa. And some, dati, merong mga ibang trust that would say, you're only allowed single take, second take. Ngayon, yung current situation with Oski, obviously, it's on a freeze at the minute dahil nga sa COVID. But ang naging effect niyan is meron mga retakes na specific na lang for yung certain parts na hindi ka umabot dun sa band. Pag nag-retake ka, yun na lang. So there's a lot of ways now na mitigate ng NMC yung struggle ng isang overseas nurse to pass or to adjust to that format of testing. However, I always just say, pag may nagtatanong sa akin, so Manong George, how do you prepare for OSCE? Simple, practice. Kailangan, you have to go there kasi, lagi yung sinasabi, success is where opportunity and hard work meets. Right? Yung opportunity, yan yung OSCE mo. You have no control. Kasi pagdating mo doon, mag-OSCE ka na, kahit ano mangyari, mag-OSCE ka pagdating mo sa UK. Nasa iyo na ngayon, it's in your hands, is that hard work. You have to do your part. Kung hindi yan equal, then success won't be there. Alright? Let's say pumasa ka. Pwede mo sabihin sa mga tao, actually, hindi ako nag-review, pumasa ako. Okay, fine, pumasa ka. That's great. Pero what does that make you? You can't joke. You can't what do you call this? Kid yourself and say, pumasa ako dahil natipuhan ako ng ano. No, no. You have to say pumasa because you did the hard work. You cannot enjoy success if you don't enjoy the process. So you have to make sure you put in your hard work.
Yan. So, OSCE, can you just define it sa mga hindi pa nagpa-process just in case they're still thinking of the UK, yung mga iba nagpa-process na, no? That's a very valuable information na to prepare for the
Mm-hmm.
OSCE. And parang ting board exam, guys, no?
No, OSCE is more like, actually, if you think about it, kung bakit, Filipinos really do well with OSCE, actually. Filipinos do very, very well with OSCE. Bakit? It's sort of very similar to the return demonstration, which is our method sa Philippines, di ba? Naalala ko doon, ito, aminado ko, pinaka nahirapan ako sa rep dem ko noon, magtupi ng kama. So, hindi na kasi di ba yung mitering, oh my gosh, pag sinabi mo ang miter dito, ha? Nobody understands miter. Pero pag sinabi mo, oh, you do your folds of the bed. Okay, gets na. Pero hindi yun kasama, ha? It's just an example. Pero it's more like yung approach. And just to give you a fair warning then with OSCE, sabi ko nga is bago. So what's with bago is that kung bago siya, it's still evolving. I think they had the plan pre-COVID, ang NMC. OSCE will evolve. They will introduce new parts to it. Pero CBT will also evolve. Kasi ang CBT, two parts yun eh. CBT will take in the Philippines, yung computer-based test. And then once you pass that, complete all the requirements, you'll fly to the UK. And here is where you take your OSCE. You go sa UK, you will work as band 3 para kang nag-duty assist ka, tulong dun sa wards para alam mo yung sistema or yung ibang system, iniikot ka sa buong hospital, rotation, then pagtetesen ka. So, yun yung mga situation dito.
And so usually they go on that band 3 when they get there before the OSCE.
Yes, kasi dito sa UK, ang NHS, yung National Health Service, which is siya yung pinakamalaking employer ng healthcare kasi ang healthcare dito is sort of centralized. No? Uh, so lahat may banding. Kahit doktor may banding. Kahit yung chief nurse may banding yan. Nandyan yan lahat. So we start at band 3, which is yan yung tawag na siguro sa atin, nursing assistant, yan ang level niyan, healthcare assistant. And then there's band 4, band 5, band 6. So once you pass the OSCE, tatalon ka na from band 3 to band 5. That would all open your opportunities na ngayon to climb up the ladder, the band. Obviously, you get your promotion. I think parehas din sa New Zealand, ang mga managers or tawag sisters din. So once you get to that sister level, although ngayon hindi dinidiscourage na nila yan, ang sinasabi na nila is parang charge nurse, yan. So you get to that level, tataas ng band.
So, can I just ask, I'm sure maraming curious palagi dito pag sweldo. So band 3 and your band 5, what's the difference with your pay?
Oh, right. Oh, that's a very good point. Hold on.
Sorry, it's not in my question. It's a random one, but it's okay if you're not sure. But maybe
kasi,
just a
let's
range.
just put it this way. I know, ang alam ko talaga by heart is yung, hindi naman by heart, pero ang alam ko talaga is yung band 5 start point. I think you start between 21 to 24,000 pounds. Yun yan. Yan yung unang entry. That's per annum, per year. And that is with tax, with tax pa. So, syempre yung net mo nun, bababa pa. Yun yung kailangan nilang maintindihan. Why do I say 21 to 24,000? Kasi meron ding difference kung if you work in London and against the countryside. London kasi you qualify for a high cost allowance kasi London is one of the most expensive cities in the world. So the good thing is the NHS will help you with that. But you have to be smart about it. Okay? Hindi porket mas mataas yung sweldo mo, mas malaki na yung may ipon mo or take home mo. That, a lot of it plays in your lifestyle kasi mahal sa London. Yung bahay sa London or yung flat sa London, pwedeng yung presyo niyang flat, bababayaran mo pag if you go up north, mas malayo sa London or kung iba-iba pang lugar, pwedeng yung room lang, bahay na pala pag nasa ibang lugar ka. Ganon yung diferensya nun.
I understand that, no? So, isa rin yun sa mga dapat mong i-consider, especially if you're family or single. Those are the things that you can look at. Kasi, yun nga, no? Again, it's not just your pay, but it's your lifestyle. Big thing,
so,
right?
dapat talaga dyan, before you count your chickens or even your eggs, lagi kong sinasabi, alam mo dapat yung sitwasyon mo. You know your whys. WHY and apostrophe S. You know your whys. You understand kung bakit ka ba pupunta sa abroad. Anong gusto mo? Do you want to just experience a different place? Do you want to save money? Do you want to bring your family here? Do you want, yun yung then if you know yourself, then you can understand your options. Mahirap yung sasabihin mo, wala lang. Pag wala lang, it doesn't, kung wala kang structure within yourself, I find it very hard, I think. Meron, of course, people would say otherwise, they found success in that. But that's like a needle in the haystack. No? Hindi lahat ganun. Mas maganda yung alam mo yung sarili mo bago ka kumuha ng options.
And guys, that's wisdom that you couldn't find in textbooks or IELTS exam. So those, and to be honest, if you look back, me personally, I don't think of that. I think our focus, if you're leaving the country, your focus is just to leave, right? And you don't even think that much. You know, some people will, but generally, I would say no. They don't think
Yes.
that.
Mahilig kasi we have an expression in Tagalog kasi niyan eh. Meron tayong tinatawag na basta. Parang yung basta, pwede na lahat. Para pag sinabi mo, basta makaalis, yun na yung basta makes it important at the same time, it will happen. But the thing is, hindi pwedeng basta-basta lang. Yun naman. You have to make sure you think about it, you thought it through. Again, it's the process, part of the process. Hindi ko sinasabing ganun ako nung bata ako. In fact, kaya ako na-push dito kasi I've made so many mistakes along the way. And I think for me, for us, and for my group to give back, we wanted to give back in a way that we can help people in a real sense. No? Hindi yung parang masabi lang. So, yun yung aming talagang ginagawa.
Yan, ang ganda, no? And that's really, yun yung difference ng information from someone who lived the experience, because we can learn from the mistakes. I think that's the
That's right.
key, because there will be mistakes. So if you know that he made that mistake, made that wrong decision, then if you heard that or you read that, then you can avoid it, right? So learning
Right.
from other people's mistakes. So again, sa mga na-band ngayon, no, and waiting, then look for more information, dig in, start planning the holistic way, so
Hmm.
that when you get there, maybe it's just you're just given that time to actually plan better. So
That's
yeah.
right. You take the positives, the silver linings, and whatever opportunity there is. Because hindi mo masabi, yung iba naman na who's actually in the opposite side of the spectrum na nandito, halimbawa sa UK, some of them maybe is yearning to go back home to say, gusto kong makita yung magulang ko kasi hindi ko alam, baka, alam mo yun, yung with the situation of the pandemic, nakakatakot. So, sila naman, they're yearning their time. Di naisip nila na wala nang kwenta sa akin yung pera ngayon, gusto kong makauwi. So, you have to understand that dynamic. And yung nandun naman sa Pilipinas na gusto makapunta sa UK kasi marami nga naipit na gano'n, no? I'm not saying be happy, but I'm saying take advantage of that time that you have, you know? Um, Again, just find the silver lining with there. And I'm not saying stop, stop campaigning for what you believe. I still firmly believe that. But again, it's about living your reality din. Di ba? Hindi mo naman matatakasan yun kasi andyan na yun talaga ngayon.
So you're right about that. And of course, yung iba na, like I've heard, like some people are trying to put the positive vibes, and somebody commented, oh, "Stop that positive toxicity." They have that term. I can't believe it. But I understand. It's hard to understand something kung you're in a bad situation. Kaya nga sabi na, don't make a decision when you're angry, frustrated, lalo na major decisions, because it can really affect that, like you might not
Mm.
be in the state where you can decide to really make a better decision. But
That's
what do
true.
you
That's true.
think, though? Do you think, this is your opinion now that I want to ask, is it fair, is it safe, do they have a point that what they're saying is they want to protect the nurses? Do you think may point naman? What do you think? Kasi,
Uh,
kasi yun nga, no, marami ding namamatay sa UK na nurses, and then of course they're saying that mas marami nga sa Philippines.
well,
So what do you think
yeah,
of that? I think that's
you
a big
have
issue right now.
to first you have to make sure their information is correct. Yeah, I know, totoo, maraming namamatay dito na I wouldn't hide that, and maraming nang namatay na BAME group or black and minority ethnic groups, and in particular yung population noon na namatay na healthcare workers, pinakamarami I think as of the moment, pinakamarami Pinoy. That's true. But you also have to understand we're looking at the population. Gano'n naman din yun karami. And then, kailangan mo rin maintindihan uh, yung demographics nun. Yung age factor, comorbidities, ganun. Kasi harking back dun sa sinabi mo kanina, no, merong positive toxicity, meron din negative toxicity sa social media. So it depends on what you feed yourself, your brain with. Kung tinanggap mo na lahat na yung negative, marami na mamatay, yun na yung maiisip mo. Pero the reality of it, as a nurse, sinumpaan natin yan eh. Di ba? Yan ang part ng trabaho natin. Hindi natin may ibang mundo ngayon. Actually, ang nagsabi sa akin yan is si Ma'am Zenny Fojas. Hi ma'am, kung nanonood ka. That is insane jokes. But anyway, hindi natin mababago yung mundo. So we have to just carry on. Ang dynamics na dapat din natin maintindihan dyan on both sides is yung mga taong nagka-campaign for them to given the right to leave the Philippines and work, it's because that they've committed to that choice. When you say you've committed to a choice, you've invested not just your time, your emotions and resources. Binigay mo na yung lahat. And people who are seeing that on a negative light, I urge them to fill the opposite side's shoes. Diba? Uh, intindihin natin, kung ikaw, nangutang ka pa para makapag-test, kung ikaw, 5 beses ka nag-IELTS para makuha mo yun. Kung ikaw, nagbayad ka na ng 140 pounds, nagawa mo na lahat yun, aalis ka na lang. Wouldn't you be frustrated? Diba? So, it's better, the thing there is we need to hear their dialogue. Kasi ang problema, I think, dyan sa nangyari na yan, it was so abrupt. Was there any consultation done? Diba? Kasi dialogues can actually solve problems. But you have to open the dialogue. Hindi pwedeng ganun na lang. Kasi you can argue, and this is my own opinion, you can argue, bakit masama loob ng mga nurses? Kasi for the longest time, walang silang voice. Laging sinosuppress. I would not name names, pero ang sinabi, ang mga nurse natin, ang sabi, gusto lang naman nilang maging room nurse. Pwede na sila dyan. Ngayon, if you hear that from your government, from officials, kahit sino masasaktan. And I think what that teaches us is that if you don't open that dialogue, kumbaga, sinampal mo muna bago ka nang hingi ng tulong. Maghanap ka ng taong tutulong sa'yo pagkatapos mo sampalin. It's very simple. It doesn't need rocket science. Open that dialogue, let the people be heard, and then you can find the right solution. Yun ang sagot ko dyan.
Yes, that you're right about that. And I hope no, kasi I think what they're campaigning right now is in the news, so there should be a progress that will happen, and we pray that something will happen for the best of everyone. And yun nga, ang rami-raming nurse ngayon na nandito nga, pero there's different sides of the story. You know what? Because some private hospitals are saying they don't have enough work kasi some hospitals are actually closing down because wala nang mga elective surgeries and all those things. So, natatakot na din magpa-hospital yung mga tao kasi because of the COVID, they're scared. So, there's a lot of things to consider, and you're right. They should have, I think, sa Philippines, comparing to New Zealand, like UK, ibang-iba yung ways. If you see that, before they make a decision, they always ask people, the citizen. They collect data, but of course we understand there's also an emergency right now. So, yun lang, finding that balance. So, thank you for that opinion, no? And I hope talaga, no, na safe naman, no? Like, I think preparation then for the nurses. But again, yun na yung reality, and I think it won't bring anything good pag you will dwell on the negative. So, look for that. Sabi nga ni Catriona Gray. I like that role. Silver lining.
All right. Sa ano ba yan? Sa Waze. Oh my gosh. Sinasabi niya sa Waze na nasa Pilipinas kami. O nga, no?
Yes. I don't usually use that word, but it's a good word to use. So, yeah, my next question is, I think I shouldn't, because right now you told me that you're not a frontliner.
No,
My
yes.
question should be, have you looked after COVID-19 patient? Do you know friends who are looking after COVID-19? What is it like? How are they?
Well, ang background ko dito as a nurse dito sa UK, I used to do critical care. I spent a long time in doing HDU, and then I did a short time in neurosurgical intensive care, and then I jumped at places. I've done so many before I ended up with my current work na hindi ko naman tinatago. You can find that in my channel as well. I work with insurance. I'm a nurse for insurance. No, so yes, I'm not a frontliner, which I never say I am actually, and I give plaudits to to those who are in the front lines, because I think they're doing a magnificent job, you know. But how it is actually, I wouldn't say, paano ba? Alam niyo na yung, feeling ko kasi, yung mga watchers natin, yung mga followers natin ngayon, they already know, they've heard those stories kung ano ba yung itsura sa isang ward or paano mag-alaga ng COVID. No? Pero ito lang yung para sa akin, harking back in my experiences as a critical care nurse, ano yung patient experience, and then ano yung pinaka-struggle siguro ngayon when you're dealing with COVID. The struggle there is that I know nurses that would sacrifice their time with their kids, their family, because they can't see them because of how they work, where they work, and the risk of infection. And then the worst part of it, I think, is because all nurses have at least, well, all nurses, I believe, have empathy. No, how would you react when you've got your patient dying and that patient dying is, alone? At their most vulnerable state, they would die alone. I think that's the hardest part. And I think isa rin yan sa magandang pag-usapan kasi napag-usapan na yan dito sa UK. After COVID, expect there would be scars that need healing, not just from the family and the bereaved families, but for the health workers, for the nurses. They've seen death at an unprecedented scale. They've felt something very different, something that we would only watch in movies, makita lang natin, outbreak, pandemic, whatever. Nobody knew, nobody expected that in our lifetimes, something of that scale can happen. And there are bound to be scars that need healing, wounds that would always remain fresh in our memories and hearts and our minds na ganito ang nangyari at that time. So I think that's the hardest part, and that's something that we should actually be also talking about right now. Because we can all pretend, oh, I'm okay, that's fine. I'm a nurse, I'm used to death. But believe you me, at some point it will get somebody. It will, and not everybody would react that way. Somebody might be right now looking at this and she'll be crying, saying, actually, oo. Naalala, lalo na pag nasa abroad ka, yung matandang namatay, that reminds me of my lolo. That reminds me of my lola. My mother is that age. Eh, paano pa kung ang namatay, colleague mo?
Yes,
It's hard.
and you talk about mental health week last, I think this week, right? And
Yes.
I think we don't, because yes, you're right. Sometimes nurse pretends we're just okay, we can handle it. We need to support nurses. So if you know nurses, mga kaibigan, and I contact my friends regularly. How are you there? I'm actually scared as well. At the same time, I feel blessed as well that like we've chose a different, still in the nursing in a way, but different. Meron din kasi, di ba? I think it's also good to give them a bit of background of what you're doing and how do you get there. If eventually
Mm.
hindi na you choose na hindi ka magiging bedside care nurse or sa hospital, may marami ding options, di ba?
Yes. Sige, tatanggalin ko muna tayo dun sa darkness of COVID. No? Pag-usapan lang natin yung opportunities sa UK. So one of the most common things when you go to the UK, ang ultra popular and most popular is, bedside nurse. You can go to a surgical ward, and then next gen is yung mga upgrade, maybe theaters, recovery, critical care, emergency. But outside of the NHS, meron pa rin talagang ibang mga pwede kang puntahan. Like community nursing, can be NHS or private. In fact, may lalabas kaming article about that. I think it's out now. So we do have articles in our website as well. We also have nurses who are more specialized. It might not be strictly available for a Filipino nurse coming to the UK on their first few years. But if you top up your skills, especially driving, which I always tell people, you top up your skills, these options become available in the future. Like for my end, um, um, naging available ito after I've tried a lot of other different things in nursing. I've also worked as a full-time agency nurse. We've tackled that in our channel. And then on top of that, I've also done in private healthcare. Saka to dumating. Yung dumating yung ano. And then obviously, if it's an opportunity, you take it, di ba? Because you can never know what is on the other side until you travel that journey. Di ba?
Kasi ito joke to ha. Kasi of course people make fun of the work at home na nurse. And one of our posts that was really funny. So guys, cheer up tayo ha. Kasi honestly, I was almost like, medyo emotional kasi ako. And when you're talking about, the I think we can talk about it again for the mental health of nurses. So yun nga, akala nila joke yung work at home na nurse. Meron. So, meron din na
Meron.
marami.
That's true. Kasi like for us, we have that option. Technology is there. The mere fact that right now we're talking by a screen, a camera that this a pin sized camera. 12 years ago, hindi ito available. All right. So technology is moving. So you don't expect nursing to be stagnant in the year of Florence Nightingale. It too will adjust and adapt. So meron na yan, nangyayari na yan.
So kasi sino basta like Nurse Archie, you've seen
Yes.
his really funny. I love his videos. No, it's really, I know it's a joke, but it's also a touch of a lot of reality for nurses. So, and meron yung nag-injection via mobile, which is really funny. So, I think that's a good thing with us nurses. We can still find ways to laugh. I think
Mhm, that's true.
if you look around mga videos of Filipino nurses sumasaya, may challenge. It's amazing how we do it. But I think generally as Filipinos, we're quite, we don't hide. Kasi I have heard my UK nurse na nagpakamatay. Is that, I think I've seen it in one of the news. Is that true? Have you heard of that?
I
Because
think
of
that was
stress.
this. Oh, this was early on,
Mm.
but there was no. I don't know if that was exactly a Filipino nurse, but yes, it did
No, not
happen. I think.
Filipino nurse.
Yeah.
I think,
But and so it's important nga to discuss that mental health and kudos to the NHS and NMC and Filipino Unite, which is a group that I'm part of. We are trying to open up new lines for all more Filipinos to access help in mental health wise. So right now, bigyan ko lang kayo ng through our networks, si Mr. Philip
what's happening? I'm not sure what's happening. Is it still live, Ate Dane? Are you there? Because I can't hear him. Are we still on? I'm not sure what's happening. Um, are you there?
Oh,
Sorry, nawala.
nawala. So, yeah, sorry about that. Hindi ko alam kung ano nangyari, but it's there.
Yeah,
Are we back on
I
live?
think we're live. Nawala ka. I don't know if I'm there because I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Is it still on, Ate Dane? Can you just check, please?
Yes, it's still on. Let me just.
Okay,
Great.
sorry. So yeah, go
So,
back. I missed that. I'm actually benefiting so much on this interview because I'm really learning a lot from you, and I hope no sa mga papanood ng video na to, it will also give them information and value. You talk about mental health.
yes. So on the back end of uh, on the back end of that meeting that we had with the chief nurse of England, it was that meeting was led by Mr. Edmund Tabay, who's a deputy chief nurse here in the UK, and Mr. Francis Fernando, who's leading the way in social media, lalo na sa Twitter, on the plight of our Filipino nurses. Um, Meron na tayong helpline na Tagalog-speaking people that is sponsored by the NHS. So if you feel you need somebody to talk to, and you're not too sure, about mental health, if you're feeling down or whatever, call that number. It's in our website as well. We signposted that. And you could also, on the other hand, kung gusto niyo naman na Filipino nurses na katulad ko, I'm part of that group, yung filipinounite.org. We also, filipinounite.com, sorry. We also have yung hotline that we could signpost you on where to go, or if you gusto niyo lang may makausap na Pinoy na medyo mahaba-haba na yung experience dito sa UK, iba-iba yung sectors namin. Merong nurses, may businessman, merong katulad ko na wala sa NHS. So this is available as well for you. So siguro later on, I'll just post in the comment kung saan yung website and ano din yung number ng NHS para makita niyo for
No,
all those
that's
who would
very,
want to
very
access
good.
that
No,
numbers.
very, very good. That initiative is very good. And so, yeah, kasi may mga iba na they live alone, and sadly yung iba na nasa bahay doon na namatay suddenly, which is quite scary. So very helpful. I'm so proud of you. No, I hear more and more, and you're just busy doing a lot of things.
It's the least that we can do kasi the beauty of me not being in the front lines is sabi mo nga we could on our own back line we could do so much if we just give our time, and if we just make that little effort, you know.
Yes, yes. So I have three more questions. Last na lang to.
Sure.
Okay. Ito, I think I'll put this in one question na lang. Best and worst experience as a nurse for you, and what did you learn?
Right. So gusto ko wag nating umpisahan sa best kasi I
Ah,
think
sige.
I'd rather end on a high note, di ba? Let's start with the worst. I wouldn't say there is a singular worst event in my career. But it's a host of things. Kasi nursing is hard. You cannot say that, yeah, nurses look good, they're well dressed, well postured, help, always smiling. But behind that, meron pa rin struggle. And the struggles that I've had, one of the worst was when you feel that you don't have the trust of your colleagues. No, naramdaman ko yan. Whether or not nagkaroon ako ng struggle with what I can do, it it really clobbered my what do you call this? My self confidence at some point.
Confidence. Mhm.
Yes, and the worst doon is that naniwala ako doon sa mga negativity around it.
Mm.
What I learned from that experience is that I learned how to bounce back. Hindi pwedeng ganon. And again, kaya nga siguro if I just go back sa ano yung mga sinasabi ko, I've realized na ang nursing, katulad din ng buhay, you have to apply those certain principles in your life that you can't always be on a high. Di ba? Hindi pwedeng ganon. Kailangan merong ganon. Because when you go down, and there's no other way but to go up, then all this going up, you understand now how precious this is. And when you're there, the view is a lot better when you've sweated a lot to reach that top. So yun ang aking worst experience. Nagkaroon ng pagkakataon na may mga taong hindi nagtitiwala sa akin. Akala hindi ako dapat nasa ganito. That's fine. Pero ngayon, when these things happen, I always just look back to that experience na sinasabi ko. It's just part of the journey. Yeah? And hindi naman laging ang packet ng bundok isang diretsong daan lang. Okay? Na-experience ko yan. Umakyat kami ng misis sa Mount Pinatubo. My goodness, ganun pala yun. so so it's never straightforward. Now, the best experience in nursing. Collectively rin, I would say what makes me go back to nursing is that feeling that you can help. Because I believe tayong mga nurses, we are there at the most vulnerable time. A patient or a person, in their most vulnerable times. Paano yan? I think nandun tayo pag may pinanganak. Even nandun tayo pag may nagbubuntis. Nandun tayo pag may nagpapatingin. Nandoon tayo pag may nagkakasakit. At and sadly and truthfully, nandun din tayo pag may namamatay. And why I take this into heart and why is that important for me? Kasi hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataong to, nandoon yung pinaka-importanteng tao para sa mga pasyente. Hindi lahat na nasa pagkakataong yun, nandun ang magulang nila, nandun ang asawa nila, nandun ang kapatid nila, nandun ang kaibigan nila. Minsan sa mga pagkakataon na yun, ang nandun lang ay ang nurse. That's why nurses are important. And that makes me proud of being what I am.
Yeah, no, ang sarap na. And you're so right, no, like especially right now, yun yung mga nangyayari, no. And that's very very rewarding. And kaya nga din, no, I posted something online, and may nagtatanong, no, should I go back? Like marami na kasi umalis, as a nurse, lalo na here in the Philippines because they don't like the pay and it's fair. But then they're asking, should I go back? And yon, sabi ko, if you dig down, dig deep. I mean, so if you still feel like, ako no, I may not be working full time as a nurse now, but I still go back and I really enjoy it. Like,
Mm.
it's just nice to go back and do, the bedside nursing again. But also, on the other hand, it's nice to have a choice that you
Mm.
can have a break when you want to. Kasi may point din na parang exhausted na and burnout na din ako as a nurse. So it's nice, guys, sa mga nurses, no? Gana kayo ng ibang ways to have a break if it gets too much. But then you always go back. You will always go back for sure.
Mm.
And that's beautiful na yun nga. I think ito yung pinaka-rewarding. And hopefully then, no, it's good if you're well compensated doing that. Very
Mm.
rewarding job that we have.
Sa mga, naisip ko lang yun, kasi people sometimes say, oh well, ba't ba kayo nagre-reklamo? Nurse naman kayo, binabayaran kayo for that. That's true. That's very true. And I would not say no to that. Totoo yun. But you have to understand, it's more than just the pay. And you have to understand, people should understand that being a nurse is very complex. Kasi some nurses, if they want to choose to be a nurse and they think of themselves as just a nurse, it comes out. Yung trabaho hindi ganun kaganda. That's why it's important to take care of yourself then. Pero if you find that nurse who loves their job, I'd tell you 9 times out of 10, they would tell you it's not the money. It's not even the gratification of myself na alam ko na nakatulong mo. But it's generally because I am there for you. Yun. Okay? Kasi I think at the end of the day, the nurses, being a nurse exemplifies what it is to become a human. So yun.
I love that service, and it's true. In the religious way, no, ako I'm quite religious or spiritual in many ways, and yun nga, no, there's this verse in the Bible saying that we're actually not made for ourselves. We're made to serve
Mm.
others, and that's fulfillment, and
Mm.
that's really like what makes you human or us human. So,
That's right.
yeah, thank you. And I think my last question now. Here we go. So, last question lang ha. So, ano yung best advice mo sa mga nurses na gusto pumunta sa UK or even just not necessarily UK but abroad? What do they need to do? Ano yung mga dapat nilang gawin? I'm sure you've talked about that. Sige, kahit brief na lang, no? Because again,
Yeah.
marami yan sa YouTube channel ni Manning George. And just today, kahit brief lang, or siguro you can highlight the very important one.
So yung pinaka-brief na sagot ko dyan and pinaka-highlight is visit www.filipinouknurse.com and
Yes.
also visit our channel. But actually, more than that, I think it's always best, again, start with your why. Understand kung bakit mo gusto umalis. Alright? Know yourself muna. Know your circumstances. Ano yung plans mo. Know that. And then do your research kung saan mo gusto pumunta. Make sure when you do your research, compare and ask the source. All right? Kasi minsan may mga sources din na hindi ko naman sinasabing um, mali, pero may mga sources minsan na uh, hindi updated. All right? Or hindi kaya may mga sources na misinterpreted. So you have to understand that as well. And then you have to marry that. And then if you found yun na, yung nagawa mo na yung back end nun, you have to be ready for the journey. Hindi ka pwedeng pumunta sa isang bagay na hindi ka nag-prepare. It doesn't happen that way. The journey to the UK has a lot of challenges, but these challenges can be met head on and be conquered. Okay. Remember, you only get the fruit of your labor after the labor. So, there is hard work important. Di ba? Kasi pag hinintay mo lang yung prutas, malaglag, ang nalalaglag na prutas, kadalasan, bulok. Okay? All right. So, make sure you know how to reach that fruit. Kasi if you don't, then it would not be um, the journey would be very hard for you, and plus you will not find fulfillment. If you accept that na merong struggle, merong journey, and you understand how that journey works, then you might get the best fruit of them all. Yun. So
Yeah,
that's
and
my
I
best
love
advice.
that. I really love that. And yes, guys, I think ito yung napansin ko ha. And I also make myself an example na we don't really do that wide research. Okay, which country should I choose? Ano yung dapat? Ano yung mga pros and cons benefits na you really compare it like, depending nga sa why mo. And ako like, like, oh, there's an opportunity, may nag-recruit sa'yo or may nag-present, and then we just jump in and we get excited and we don't think anymore. So I hope that will change, no, that behavior. According to I think culturally, it's our weakness to do research. Like, not generally, but I hear this from our ambassador. Filipinos, we don't like reading so much. Like, it's all in the website, and then they want to call and ask you, what is it? So, you know.
Mhm.
So, of course, guys, maraming agencies dyan. My view is you always have to verify. Personally, meron din kami mga bad experience sa New Zealand, and that's the reason why we founded Pinoy Nurses Abroad, because of those challenges na mga false information. I'm not saying all of them, but meron around there, so you have to be careful to who to choose. Na agency, don't just sign up and then not understand all the contract and what they offer, kasi lalo na pag very, parang too good to be true, yung ganon.
Mm.
Yung sinasabi mo na, yun nga, baka nahulog lang tapos baka bulok. There's always the catch. So, may hard work talaga. So, thank you so much, Manning Jordan. And
You're
again, guys,
welcome.
please do visit their website. Ang rami-raming valuable materials doon. And we'll share this. So, hopefully, we can cut this video by part kasi medyo mahaba siya. And
Mm.
again,
May
thank you
nagtanong ba
so
sa
much.
atin, Christine? Baka may nagtanong kung may nagtanong.
Sorry. So my ate nag-hello daw so far, but not there's no specific questions, is it, Ate Dane? I'm just asking. And then for your questions, you can message us or email
Yes.
us, and of course, Manning George Facebook page we'll put here below. Now we
Thank
will share
you.
this in the groups as well. And again, thank you so much for your time.
You're
And
welcome.
yeah,
Thank you for having me.
when you go to UK, sa mga nabahad ngayon, go, tingnan nyo lahat ng mga videos while you are here in the Philippines, and write it down. It's really important. All those information are valuable talaga. So
Yeah.
language and all those things. Well, so again, I think we'll wrap up, and thank you. I want to share my screen, but I can't find it. Sige na lang. It's okay. I'll make another one for that. Thank you so much, and
Thank you, Christine. I really had a good time. Thank you.
bye. So
Bye
I'll end
now.
the live broadcast now.
Mhm.
Is that, and maybe I'll end the meeting for now. I don't know how to.